everybody, it's Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about seasonings, how to season your food. This video is dedicated to my cousin Loretta, who said, Sabrina, how do you know what seasonings to put on your food? And so I figured if she had the question, a lot of people might have the question. So let me put most people in two categories. One, you have your tried and true salt and pepper and maybe one other that your mom used that you put on everything. And on the other hand, you might have a cabinet or multiple cabinets like me full of seasonings that you might not know what to do with. So today, I want you to pull them out, take a look at them, throw away some that you know have been in there for like 10, 20 years, and let's start over, okay? Seasoning your food is a great way to bring new flavors, new cultures, all kinds of new dishes into your kitchen. And so I, want to say, just try it. I'm gonna give you some ideas on how to do it, but you just gotta sprinkle. That's my word in the kitchen. And when my daughter asks me a question, I say just sprinkle, because you don't know what it's gonna taste like. But it's an herb or it's in seasoning, and if you just start little or put a little bit in there, you'd be surprised at how your food will change its flavor and sometimes its texture. So today we're gonna be looking at my tried and true. I'm gonna tell you about some seasonings of the world, and then I'm gonna give you some that are specific to me as a vegan so that I use in my regular everyday seasoning. All right, so let's start with the staples in the kitchen. My staples, and that would be these right here. I have my salt and pepper, which I keep in my little containers right on the kitchen counter. We're gonna learn a little later that there are different types of salt, and so I would just say be careful, okay, till you get to that video. Know that there's kosher salt, there's Himalayan pink salt, there are all kinds of different color salts. And then there's also table salt. Table salt about 2 to 3 times saltier than those others. So as you're seasoning your food, just be careful. I know my culture and many others have high blood pressure because of salt. So this learning today is a great way to add flavor to your food without too much salt. But I need to flavor a little bit, right? The other one that I use all the time is nature seasoning, okay? Nature seasoning, if you know my mother, we put nature seasoning on everything. It made everything taste good. I have a jar at work. I have coworkers use nature seasoning, you know, because they don't always season up their food. But there's all kinds of things in here. Everything from celery seed, obviously salt and pepper, garlic powder, all kinds of things. So this is my go-to when I need to add a little something. The other things I always put in my food, if it's savory, it's garlic powder and onion powder. Those two just sort of go in everything. I just love the marrying of the flavors. It gives a little bit of what I'm looking for, but not necessarily a whole garlic kind of flavor, although sometimes I will put whole garlic in there as well. And then paprika. My favorite for the last year and a half is smoked paprika. You gotta try it. If you want that smoky flavor, smoky seasoning, I'll put anything from greens to when I'm making my black bean burgers to a meatloaf to whatever. My smoked paprika, that's the bar. That's it right now. That is what I use. I also use a lot of garlic, regular garlic. Now it's not necessarily a seasoning, but I'm gonna put it in there anyway. Some whole garlic, and we'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, so that is my go-to. So let's go around the world a little bit. I want to start with my Islander friends, okay? My daughter's godmother, Laverne, is Jamaican, and so she's always putting something in there. A lot of the hot peppers, which I don't necessarily do, but these two, she'd be so proud of me that I use regularly. And that is some thyme, although she would rather I use the fresh one, and I do when it's grown in the garden and it's not quite ready yet. And also some allspice, which she would call pimentos. There's Jamaican pimentos, things like that. So these two add some really great flavor. It adds that island flair on top of different peppers and whatnot, and obviously your garlic and salt and pepper. But these are two that, if you want to have that island taste, you want to incorporate these into your meals, okay? So if we slide down to my Hispanic friends, I've been making Spanish food for many years, but I still always refer to some of my friends on how to make something better or different. I had Norma in my kitchen last year when we were making big pots of rice and whatnot. I had my friend Liz, years ago, we were making pork shoulders or something like that, and I was watching what she was doing and things. But these are some of the seasonings that you will find in Hispanic food, okay? Put them all over here. Adobo is a go-to, okay? You just have to have it in your kitchen. There are a lot of different things in adobo, starting with salt and pepper, but then you're gonna have other pieces of other types of seasonings in there as well. There's even turmeric in there. You can get a couple different kinds, by the way, okay? Sazon is a definite. You gotta have sazon in the kitchen. Just, just have to. Whether you're making, doesn't matter what you're making. I believe everything I've tasted in different people's kitchen, ooh, even my friend Naomi, I was in her kitchen watching her make something, a couple of things, and it all tastes so good, but it all had all of these things in here. Also, if you want to add a little bit of powder or pepper, sorry, some chili powder when I'm making certain Mexican foods, or actually I'm gonna slide this one over to Indian food as well. This is a great way to add a little bit of spice without having a whole habanero or something that's really seasoned or spicy. If you want some tacos or whatnot, you can make a really nice seasoning spice blend, or just get yourself a tub of taco seasoning, okay? Save yourself some time, energy, and money. It has all the things in it that you would need, all kinds of spices and flavors, from peppers to garlic, dried onions, dried chipotle peppers, sugar, smoked paprika, chili peppers. I do use this on a regular basis, okay, when I'm making my taco meat. So this is what I would use when I'm seasoning up my Spanish food on top of, my regular black pepper. Okay. All right, if we keep going down the globe, how about Indian food? I'm really into Indian food now, some dals and all kinds of flavors, and you will find that many of them have some of the similar flavors. So let me slide these over here for you. All right, so the two that I find often would be turmeric, which you're going to find in a lot of different seasonings. Actually, it's in adobo as well. They use cinnamon, cumin, coriander, okay? It would be great if you had some of these as fresh, but I use a lot of the powder or the dry ones. I don't always have fresh, coriander and whatnot, but these would be great. Also, nutmeg and ground ginger. These two are also used. So great seasoning, but it just adds that the flavor and your house smells like India. Just wonderful. My son was overseas and he brought back some seasonings from the Middle East, and I am so excited about using some of those. So I have a lot. If you need some, you let me know. I got a whole lot of coriander and cumin and whatnot for you. Okay. While we're talking about Asian food, or Indian food, think about Asian food as well. And it reminds me of these two things. I always will use some ginger and garlic. I use fresh garlic in everything I'm making probably, but these two especially are usually the beginnings of most of the Asian foods that I make. There's nothing better, I think, than slicing up some fresh garlic and putting it in the pan and letting that cook down. People will come running. Ooh, what are you making? What is that smell? Just fresh ginger smells fabulous. So I'm really loving ginger right now. All right, let's go this way. When it comes to herbs and seasonings, I would encourage you to try the different dried herbs, okay? Whether it's Italian food, you have sort of the Italian trinity of basil, oregano, and parsley. That sort of is some of in your sauces and whatnot. But maybe you want to try cilantro or rosemary, even cumin seeds, to just toast up some seeds before you add the rest of your ingredients. Just adds another layer of flavor. You have dried sage. I have dill weed that I use either in sauces or creams or dressings, salads, things like that. Wonderful ways to use them. I know that you have a cabin full of something. I'd say pull some things out, look up some recipes, follow some of my recipes, and you're going to be using many of these same seasonings, okay? So your dried herbs are awesome. If you have them fresh, they're even better. Remember, your dried herbs are intensified in flavor, just like a raisin is intensely sweet because it was a grape, but now it's really, really sweet. Same thing. You don't need as much if you're going to use dried as you would if you're going to use fresh, okay? And last category, and then I'll go. These are my go-tos for vegan cooking, okay? Sometimes, usually, it's not about the food. I don't miss bacon, I don't miss burgers, I don't miss chicken, but I miss a texture or a flavor. And so once you learn how to flavor some things in the same way that you liked the flavor before, you're golden, right? So some of the things that I use is Chesapeake Bay or Old Bay, okay? Anytime I'm making something that I want it to remind me of a fish or scallops or something like that, it will have a sprinkle of some Old Bay seasoning, okay? And because your scents are so strong and have such a great impact, I have tricked people all the time. Not that I'm trying to necessarily, but even if I'm making my chickpea salad, a tablespoon of that, you'll swear you're eating tuna salad, okay? If I am seasoning up some other things and I want to have that seafood type thing, I always add some Old Bay seasoning. Another thing that you want to keep in your kitchen if you're going to be doing whole food, plant-based, non-dairy food is nutritional yeast, okay? Nutritional yeast is powerful. There are so many benefits. This is a fortified food, but to give you that vitamin B, there's lots of protein, there's fiber. In 3 tablespoons, you have 8 grams of protein. In 3 tablespoons, okay? You don't need to have a whole steak or piece of chicken. You can get this. I will sprinkle this on popcorn. I put this on my pasta instead of cheese. I put it in all of the sauces that I want to have that cheesy cheese sauce type of flavor. Nutritional yeast. You gotta get some. The other thing I used to miss, and that I missed most, was eggs. And now I make tofu scrambles all the time. And how I get that egg scent, or is the sulfur of eggs, is black salt. You must get yourself some black salt, okay? No, it's not black, it's pink in here, but it has a different texture. It's not your normal kind of salt. But as soon as you open it, you're gonna smell eggs because of the sulfur levels that are in here, okay? So I will have some recipes out on how to use this, but this is what I use anytime I want my tofu to have that eggy kind of scent to it, whether I'm making my egg salad or my scrambled tofu scrambles or whatever. I will definitely use some black salt, and I encourage you to do it as well. Again, if I want something seafood wise, there's lemon pepper. I know I used to put that on fish all the time. So these right here are kind of some go-tos that I always use if I am trying to get a certain flavor out of something that I might miss, or something that I want, or someone that I'm cooking for may need to have as they transition into a plant-based diet. So anyway, here's food of the world. I hope this was helpful to you. I encourage you to just get in that cabinet and pull some things out, do a little sprinkle, and try a new flavor. If you do, please put a comment below so I know that you've tried something that I know, hey, maybe I can put that on the channel and try a new recipe. But herbs and seasonings are so powerful. They're healthy, they're tasty, and for me, it just tells me that it is always time to cook. So have a great day, everyone. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and let me know if you have any questions in the comment box below. All right, thanks. Bye.